Another method which is very dynamic is the format method, the string format method. And let's see how that works. Let's say this is my text and I want it to be my first name is John. So I will put a curly braces as a placeholder. So with format method, we use curly braces as the placeholder. And then last name is then another placeholder. So, and then when I come out, I will put dot format. Inside this, I will specify my variables. So the first placeholder is for first name, so that will be for first name. And then the second placeholder here is for the last name. So last name. So and then if I call my text, here we are. I have been able to successfully insert these variables into this text. So good. If I go here and I want to do some more beautiful things with this method, we can use indexing to specify the location of our variable. Let's look at an example now. So text, let's say my first name is, so there's a middle name is, and the last name is, dot format, and then we put first name, and then the last name. If we run our text out, we are going to get a good output. However, I can actually specify the index of these particular variables that I want to stand inside each of these placeholders. Now, by default, the first element here will stand for the first placeholder, the second for the second placeholder, and so on. But assuming I want my first name to be John, that is, my first name has become my last name. So what should I do? What I will do is that my first name here is at index 0. So I will make it to come and stand here, 0. So which means that the last name here is referring to whatever is at index 0 here. And then my last name has become Alex, which is inside the first name. So this is my last name. My last name is here. So I want, okay, let's look at it again. We have made our last name to be our first name, which is index 0. Now, we want to make our first name to become our last name. So you know that our first name is here and is pointing towards last name, which is at index 1, that is 0, 1, 2, index 2. Good. So we put 2 here. So which means that first name now is pointing towards whatsoever is at index 2 inside this format function. And this 0 here is pointing towards whatsoever is inside is at index 0 in this function. And then my middle name is, so which is 1. So let's put 1. So by this, we have been able to interchange the variables and put them at the location we want them to be based on the index of those variables inside the format function. So if I run that, we get something different. And we can play around this based on our desire. Good. Now, let's look at another scenario where we have two lists or a list, but as long as we have a list, we can also insert the values of a list inside our string elements. Now, how can we do that? Let's look at it. So let's say text is equals to, now, let's say is called in, so physics is the first, so a placeholder for it is the value, a placeholder for it, and so let's say is called in physics is this particular value, and so is called in mathematics is this particular value, another placeholder. So dot format. Now, where do we want to take our values from? From these lists. So we put them here. So let's just call and then subject. However, let's start from here. So it's called in physics. So we want physics to be here. So where is physics? Physics is in subject. So which means that index 1, 0, 1. However, inside the list called subject, what we want to refer to is physics, which is at index 0. So we put 0 here. So with this, we are saying that we want the element of this particular list to be here, and this is at index 1 here, but what element of this list we want to be here, and that is physics, which is at index 0. And then is the score is 70, which is inside this particular variable, and this is at index 0. So we put at index 0, and then this 70 for physics is at index 0 of score. So 0. So, and maths. Let's put maths here. If you put maths here, you say it's from subject, it is 1, and the index is 1. So, because 0, 1, and put 1 here, and then the score is in score, which is in the 0 here, and it is 75, which is at index 1 here. And then there we go. So let's see our outputs. So we can see that his score in physics is 70 and math is 75. So this is how we can work around the elements of a list. If we want to get an element of a dictionary, how do we go around it? There is a way around that, and let us see. So let's say is score in physics is the placeholder, and math is in another placeholder. So we put dot format. Now, because we are referencing a dictionary, we put a special character, this double asterisk, and then we put score. So we are telling Python that what you are seeing here is a dictionary, and inside the placeholders, we are going to be putting the key to those values. And you remember in dictionary that when we put that we access the value of a particular value in the dictionary using their key. So for physics core here, the key is physics. So we put physics here. And then for maths here, the score has a key of maths. So we put maths. So good. With this, we are going to get our output correctly. So we can see its score in physics is 70 and in math is 74. Good. Now we want to look at format and some keywords. And how does it go? Let me take us to the previous examples. If you look at this example, you can see that this look good, but for readability, it doesn't look very cool. How can we improve that? And that is where the keywords comes in. Let's say our text is A is his name. So I want to put the name here. It is his name. So anybody who see this placeholder will know that, oh, this is a placeholder, but it's standing for the name of this person. Good. So he is, and then he lives in. So where does he live in? It is being represented by this placeholder. But is it a city, a town, a county, or what? So city. So which means that anybody who is reading this code will know that, oh, this placeholder is standing for city. And he is from country. So say that, okay, this placeholder is standing for country, not for state or any other thing. Good. And then format. Now, when we want to put our variables inside this format function, we have to specify it by saying, look, the name here is representing A here because the variable A is for name, which is John Noble, so it's A. And then the city here is for variable B, so city is equal to B. And the country here is standing for variable C. So let's check our text. So we can see that we have been able to get a good output with a better readability. And that is one of those things that we can do with the format method. Now let's look at another way. We can also do the same thing we did with percent formatting in terms of the decimal places. And this is usually for float. For example, let's say our text is this. Or let's say a placeholder for the name. So I can just call this mark in physics and this mark in mathematics dot format. So we know that students is the first variable, and then physics is the second variable, and maths is the third variable. But I want mathematics to be in three decimal places. So since this is standing for mathematics, I will just put this and F. So it means that it will stand for float. So let's do this and let us call our text. And see that this has become a float. So if I want this to be a float too, I just put a colon F. You can see that both of them have become float points. But I want them to be in two decimal places. So I just put full stop or period and then 2 here. Full stop and then 2. Saying that after the decimal point, I only want two floating points. Good. And then you can see that we have achieved our goal. So this is how we use the percent format and the format method in Python string formatting. I believe we have been able to learn one or two things here, and we are going to be talking about F string in the next session and until we meet in that session.